Man, what's going on, everybody? My name is Ty Cortes, aka Tyco, and welcome back to the Tyco Podcast Show. Here with my very good friend and fellow actor, Alex Bilbrey. Alex, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great, Ty. Hello, everyone. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely amazing. Thank you for asking. Today, everybody, for the first episode and for the first segment, we will be talking about and answering the top 5 most frequently asked questions by beginner actors. Me and Alex here are both professional actors. I've been doing it for a little over 10 years now. This segment is just to give a little advice and maybe some tips to anybody that wants to get into the industry or maybe that's interested in starting. Alex, what's our first question for today?
Yeah, the first question today is, basic how to get into acting.
How to get into acting? I mean, of course, it's a great question to start with. There's numerous ways to get into acting. I mean, people have gotten to acting from, they just walking down the street and somebody sees them and is like, hey, be in this damn movie, So there's so many ways of getting to acting. Me, I would say if you want to start really being serious in acting and get into it, I would say the first thing is try to find a spot with other actors, whether that's a film school, whether that's just a little acting class you go to a couple times a week, whether that's, maybe you invite some of your friends over and you read some scenes, whatever it is, you want to be around other actors. Why? Because when you're with these other actors, when you're in these other rooms, say you go to an acting class and there's some other great actors there, or maybe directors there, future directors, and you don't know yet. And now in the future, you know all these people, you have all these connections, and that's going to help you get into the industry. That's the number one thing about the acting industry is connections. Never burn any bridges. You need to make as many friends as possible, meet as many people as possible. And then from there, meeting new people, I'm sure you'll eventually find an agent, manager. They're always looking for new talent. So just like constantly working your craft, go to these acting classes, meet new people, talk to people, study with people, and eventually things will start going up from there. Alex?
Yeah, I fully agree with you. Also, whenever you're first starting out, try background work. Try really any job you can get. Don't turn anything down. Try student films. Try making short like verticals with your friends. Yeah, just try and make anything you can. Also like take acting classes, like you said, because even in acting classes you can make connections. I mean, we met at an acting class.
Yeah, we did. We met, I want to say about for more than that, man. Probably like 6 years ago, 5 years ago. I don't know. It was a while ago, and we met in acting class, and we've been friends ever since. And that's what I'm saying is like, you meet these people when you put yourself out there, right? Acting you cannot do alone. You need people around you. I would have never met Alex, or we would have never been doing the show with me if I never met him at that acting class, right? So this is what I mean. You need to put yourself out there. You need to go meet new people. I know it might suck at first. I don't want to meet new people. What is that? You need to go outside. You need to talk to people, communicate with people, build connections. That's really the most important thing that I want to keep telling you because that's what you need in this industry. You need people around you. You cannot do this alone. So if you wanted to be in this acting industry, you need to start putting yourself out there. Number one.
And piggyback off of what you said about acting classes, and also taking acting classes, it makes you a better actor. I've been doing this for several years. Ty's been doing this for several years, and we still take acting classes. It
Definitely.
makes you a better actor. It puts in time and it works on your craft. But even on your downtime when you're not at acting classes, you should be doing something.
Yes.
I mean, am I right?
Yeah, definitely. When you're at home, let's say you can't go out, right? Maybe you don't. Let's say maybe you don't have the money for an acting class right now. Maybe you don't really have a ride or whatever, right? There's no excuses, right? I was saying that you need to put yourself out there. Of course, that is something you need to do. But if there's certain scenarios where you can only be home, or maybe they're not doing school that day, or whatever it is, constantly be productive, even when you're at home. Be creative. That's something a very good acting coach of mine, Timur Ghazi, told me was to be creative non-stop. Why? Because that's how you expand your mind. That's how you broaden your categories. You think amazing actors are amazing actors because they only know how to act? No, it's because they have skills that they can put into their performance. So if you're at home, like my friend Alex was saying, try to make some short films, maybe write a script. Even if you don't know how to, all right, just try, maybe just start it, see how it goes. Look up scenes on Google and just practice them for yourself, record them for yourself, right? Look look at them back and see where you can change different. These are things that you can do on your downtime to be more productive, to grow without, the help of being in a building with other actors, right?
Yeah, and on your downtime, like learn play an instrument. I mean, it might not sound like a big thing, but who knows when the next role or audition calls for someone that can, I don't know, play guitar, play drums, play bass, play piano. I don't know.
Yeah,
Learn how to. I know it's simple. Learn how to throw a football. Learn how to throw a baseball. Learn how to do anything and make it look natural and real. Because again, you don't know when the next opportunity will come, and it will
hmm
call for that specific description.
yeah. It's great that you brought that up, Alex. Where like something as simple as learning how to throw a football right is so important as an actor. Why? I'll give you a little story about me. Right, when I first started getting into acting, all I thought about was acting. That's all I wanted to do. 100% of my time, 24/7, I wanted to be acting or doing auditions. That's all I thought about. Whatever script, scenes, characters. And then my manager called me and was like, Ty, what else are you doing? And this is me a while ago. So I'm like 13 at the time. And she's like, what else are you doing to build yourself as a person? Right? Because acting is also bringing some of yourself into these characters, putting some of your experience into these characters. How are you going to put experience into these characters if you don't have any real life experience? So she told me, and I thought about it. And that's when I started going out. I started playing more basketball, playing more sports, learning MMA, uh, uh, um, learning, going on hikes, just like things like that, spending more time with friends, simple things like that, that will give you more life experience that will then help your performances.
And after you take acting class and you have a good grasp of what you're doing, you can finally start looking for an agent because, they'll help you find jobs that you don't see.
Yes, definitely. Agents very important. This is how you get your jobs. This is how you get your work. How you get paid is by having an agent. Of course, you can find work and get on sets and maybe book something on your own. But it's so much easier when you have an agent. They do it for you. They find the auditions for you. They send it directly to you. They put your name in these rooms. They get your name out there. So you need to find an agent. It doesn't need to be immediately. It doesn't need to be right away, but it does need to be eventually, right?
When you feel you're
Because
ready.
yes, when you feel you're ready, and that changes with everybody. Somebody might feel ready in a year. Somebody might feel ready in 3 years. So it really just comes down to you. And the way to find these agents is um, I would say the main one is, again, just going out and meeting people, going to these acting classes. Another one that I would highly recommend is there is a app called Backstage, which I haven't used very thoroughly, but from the things I have heard, it seems like a very good app. It seems like people do find agents on there. You go on there, you post a video of you doing a scene, and I guess eventually maybe somebody could see you and reach out to you. So
Yeah.
that's also
Very
another
well
option.
rounded, good app.
Have you used it a lot, Alex?
I used it a little bit.
Okay. What do you think about it?
Uh, yeah, I really liked it. It helps you find, again, agents and, you know, other jobs.
Okay, yeah. Then I would definitely recommend it. If you think it's good, then I highly recommend to you guys to definitely try it out at least. Just try it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But it's definitely an option just to try out. Thank you.
Yeah. And, like I said, agents will help you find and get auditions. But, like, Ty, how do you stand out in an audition?
This is a great question. How do we stand out in auditions? Look, if you go for an audition, okay, or if you get a scene that other people are doing, there's probably so many people going for the same audition as you. How are you gonna stand out against all these other people? What are you going to do so different than all these other people to stand out and for the casting director to be like, oh, look at this kid. This kid's different. This is where studying the script, this is where studying your scene and your character comes into play, right? It's so easy just to pick up a script and memorize it, and then maybe go through it once or twice and then record it. Boom, done. It's very easy to do that. But are you able to go through it a couple times, numerous times, and really understand what's happening in the scene, what's happening in these small moments? Because in those small moments, then you will find where you can stand out, where you can change. Maybe somebody that didn't read it thoroughly played this scene this way, happy or something, but you read it thoroughly and you understood, okay, he was really feeling like this in this part. Let me play it like this. And now when the casting director watches that, you're like, oh man, this kid got it. He understood what I was trying to do. He understands the character. Now, it's not as easy as that, of course, but that could potentially happen. And then you can book it just from that. Also, a point I want to make before you continue, Alex, sorry, is yes, you want to stand out. Yes, you want to make differences. Yes, you want to make changes and find these key moments, but make sure the changes you make do follow with the script and the scene. Don't just make some wild changes that the casting director should be like, why do you give him a Southern accent for? Like don't do things like that are just like wild. Make sure it actually fits to the character. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah. Yep. Fully agree. You want to reflect your character. And so, like you said, don't read it just once or twice, read it a whole bunch, and not just read it, but delve into it, become the character.
All right. Thank you guys for listening to those questions. Hopefully you learned something. Maybe you could pick up some advice and come back to this video and maybe spark an idea that you can do. Again, remember, be creative, try to stand out, put yourself out there. These are things that you need to be focusing on if you really want to get into acting. This is for the serious ones, man. If you want to go and just have fun too and just try it out for a little bit, that's fine too. But if you really want to take this serious and really want to do this, these are the main things you need to be thinking about. Okay. You need to constantly work in your craft, constantly put yourself out there, constantly trying to make yourself better as a person, as an actor, everywhere. Thank you so much. And again, if you guys have any other questions for another segment, potentially could be featured, we can answer that maybe in a future episode. Make sure to comment down below any questions you have on acting. Now, on to segment 2. All right, everyone. This is my mini segment called Tyco FM, where I'll be performing one new song every new episode. Today, I'll be performing a song called Cashing Out. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Appreciate it.
We're going to make it because I love New York. And I love New York because New York loves you.
I've been chasing what, not the bag, I want greatness. So many ideas can't contain it. I want this and that, but I cannot explain it. Your watch is like out, but my plane Jane is basic. 2 flights booked today, I'll be back with a payment. I cannot be complacent, God gave me this vision. You think I'm gonna waste it? They talking, they hating, the shit entertaining. It make me go harder, push me to be smarter. Not even my best work, that's just a Kickstarter. They calling me Weezy, shout out to the Carter. And where is my mask? They calling me Ghostface, the way that I slash. They say I'm incredible, way that I dash. They wanna be sneaky and stay in the grass. I'm about to go cash, I'm cashing out. Shorty on my side, but she really want the clout. I ain't even mad, I already had some doubt. Don't even wanna argue, I'm already bouncing out. I'm bouncing out. Shorty on my side, but she really want the clout. I ain't even mad, I already have some doubt. Don't even wanna argue, I'm already bouncing out.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed. On to the next segment. Appreciate it. Now for segment 2, I gotta ask you something, Alex. Because you my boy, right? And, we've had this talk off the show a few times, but, I want to bring this on the show because I want people to listen to this. Who's better, Marvel or DC?
A lot of people disagree, but also a lot of people would agree. Personally, I think DC is better. Just my own opinion.
Okay. This is what I got to say about that. Well, are you saying DC overall is better, like everything, or just certain aspects?
There's parts of DC and parts of Marvel that I like and dislike, but just
Because, for example, Marvel movies are better, clearly, right?
see, that's where I disagree. Because with DC, DC has a darker tone. Like, have you seen the Joker
Man, but
or the
how
Dark
can you
Knight?
beat Endgame? How can you beat Infinity War?
It's pretty
You know
easy.
what I mean?
The Dark Knight. You can't beat
Okay.
Heath
The Dark
Ledger's
Knight,
performance.
the Dark Knight is an incredible film. Heath Ledger was an incredible Joker, but does that one superhero movies beat the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe? No, no. What else do you have? You have the Justice League. You got Peacemaker. I love John Cena, but you got Peacemaker. Come on, you know what I mean? Marvel, we got it all. Okay, I will
What about
say,
Marvel do you think is better?
okay, what I think is better about Marvel is, for me personally, this is why I like them better, right? I like how they make Marvel for the cinema. They do, right? I like the cinematic experiences they have. I don't feel like when I go, and I still remember going to watch Endgame in theaters, like just that experience was insane. I don't feel DC has the movies on this sort of level. I mean, yeah, they have like the newer Batman that just came out and the newest Superman. They're starting to come back. They're starting to come back, and they could potentially, maybe be better movie wise in 10 years. But I'm saying from up to this point, the Marvel movies have been better. Up to this point.
But don't get me wrong. The Avengers, Endgame, all that, great
Okay.
movies. Like I said, they have Dark Knight Rises, Joker, they have Suicide Squad, they have you seen the Justice League?
Yeah, I've seen the Justice League.
Have you seen the Justice League
You
director's cut?
look it. You had a hard time just naming 4 movies right there. We have the entire Spider-Man movies. We got all the Iron Mans. We got all the Captain Americas, Endgame, Infinity War, Black Widow movie. I can keep going on and on and on. We have so many. And I'm not saying quantity is better than quality. Okay.
And that brings me to my next thing. DC. Yeah, they do about a movie every 3 years. They do quality instead of Marvel's.
They also only come out with like one movie every 3 years. So
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They instead of Marvel's quantity of about 2 years every.
I see what you mean.
Movies every 2 years, something like that.
Right. To that point, I see what you mean. I mean, Marvel has been pushing out like a lot of like shows recently, which I don't really keep up with anymore. Which that I would say, I think they're doing quantity over quality. But again, I think the Marvel movies still hold up. I think they're incredible. I think DC is more iconic. I'll say that. I'll give you that. I think DC superheroes are more known. I would say like Batman, Superman. Those are really only the 2. Marvel, we got Captain America, we got Iron Man, we got Spider-Man, we got Thor, we got, man, we got a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean?
But we only need our 2. We only need our 2 heroes.
And what you think about the newest Superman movie?
It was a good movie, but there's things I disliked.
Disliked? Okay.
Like the multiverse stuff. That's also what Marvel's doing.
Right.
With all of their movies. And, that's another reason why I think DC has the upper hand, because every single Marvel movie now and TV show is about the multiverse.
That is true. Everything is becoming about the multiverse. Do you think that the Superman movie was well enough for it to set up like 10 more movies? Because this movie was supposed to set up the rest of the DC's future. If this movie did good, then the rest are going to do good. If this movie flopped, then the rest flop. Do you think this movie is good enough to make way more DC films in the future?
Yes, because it takes place in the same universe.
It didn't make a lot of money, right?
Yeah, it takes place in the same universe as Peacemaker. And I think
No way.
I think even the Batman.
I think it does, because in Peacemaker, I'm pretty sure. Did you watch Peacemaker?
No, but I'm about to. But like,
Oh, okay.
I know
I was gonna tell you what happened in the last episode, but I ain't gonna
the
tell you no more.
Justice Gang shows up.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, the Justice League shows up or Justice Gang, yeah. Um, so yeah, so I guess they said it there that Superman's also part of that universe. Um, but yeah, I mean, Peacemaker's a great show. I love DC. I do love DC too. I just think Marvel is better right now. Do I hope that DC does better in the future? Hell yeah! When I love to see, another what's another superhero I'd love to see like a I don't even know. I mean, they already have a new Batman movie coming out. They already had a Superman. They just had the Flash.
They are
I mean,
doing
they've
a Clayface movie that I'm really excited for. Hey, I'm
rated
excited
R,
for it.
rated R, which is cool.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be more of a horror
Mhm.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah,
Really? More of a horrible I think I saw some clips of it and, like, he looks wild. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for that. I mean, the last rated R thing Marvel did was
was it
I think
Deadpool?
this was it Deadpool? No, I think it was this newest thing that just came out, the Marvel Zombies that just came out. Yeah, nobody's been talking about it. I don't know why. I mean, I haven't watched yet. I don't know if it's good or not, but I'm pretty sure that's
Is
rated
it a
R.
TV show or a movie?
It's a TV show. It just came out like a week ago. And it's rated R, I'm pretty sure. And it has like Miss Marvel in it as like the main actor. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet, but it seems pretty cool. Maybe I'll definitely check it out.
That's very interesting because I'm about to bring out my inner nerd, but there's a Marvel comic book, and in it there is like the Marvel superheroes become zombies, and
Mm,
I didn't think they would do that, but yeah,
huh.
that's cool.
I mean, I kind of want to check out the show just to kind of like see what it is. But hey, look, everybody in the comments that's watching this, you comment down below what you like better, Marvel or DC. Okay, my boy Alex is standing with DC. I'm standing with Marvel. We'll see we'll come back 10 years from now to see who's doing better. Yeah.
On to segment 3.
Yep. All right, buddy. For the last segment 3 on today's episode, me and Alex will both be giving a little story on how we got into acting, just to give you guys a little insight on who we are and why we chose this path.
So I started when I was like 8 or 9. I mean, what kid doesn't want to be an actor? I mean, you always see superheroes in movies and TV shows, and when I was a kid, my favorite TV show was not Kid Danger, Henry Danger, and I always wanted to be Kid Danger. And I was like, oh, that's so cool, doing mixed martial arts and fighting on screen. And so I told my mom, hey, I want to get into acting, because again, what kid doesn't want to get into acting?
Right. I mean,
And their friend in college is in the industry, and she reached out and said, hey, they're looking for kids about your son's age, and you should submit him. It's a background role for this film, The Iron Orchard, and it films by
mm,
where you live. And it's like, okay, not thinking anything of it. We submitted a picture of me, and just sent it and forgot it, kind of. And well, come to find out, I got the job, and on our way to set, we heard, hey, so you are going to be playing the main character as a kid. I didn't say any lines, but it was a little bit. It was still it was like featured background, I should say.
right. Yeah.
But that day on set, I was like, wow, this is a feeling I don't know how to explain. It's
Mm,
magical, I guess. But that day, I decided this is what I want to do.
that's a great story, man. I mean, yeah, it's crazy you say that. Like the feeling of being on set. I mean, before I tell you how I got into acting, I mean, I just want to kind of go off of that. Like, I remember my first time being on set. It was for a feature film movie called No Right Way. I filmed it about 2 summers ago, and I remember being on that set, feeling like I remember at the end of the day when we were done filming, and it was like the last day of our filming too, which sucked. And I remember just feeling so it wasn't even empty. I felt so happy that I found what I wanted to do so young, right? I knew that like when I was on that set, I knew like, yo, this is what I want to do. Like I could be on this set for 18 hours. I could like, you know what I mean? Like that's how much it felt so good just to be on set with other people and like, just playing these characters and making a movie. It felt great. But how I got into acting, I started when I was around 9-ish. I've always sort of done something like dancing or whatever. I've always loved to perform in whatever way that was. And my dad was like, "Hey, like, because we believe in signs. I'm a very big, very religious, big believer in God, and I believe He sends us signs." And my dad kept saying, "Hey, I keep hearing this damn commercial on the radio every time I go to work for the past like week. Do you want to be on Disney or whatever?" It's like one of those fake commercials that you think's fake. You know what I mean? Or you want to be on Disney or whatever. And my dad was like, "F it. You just want to call and see what happens." And I was like, I'm 9 years old. I don't know. Yeah, sure. No problem. Let's do it. And we did it. We called. It was a legit thing. We ended up going to some building. My mom took me there and I did some scenes for them. And I ended up going through to the next stage. And I ended up getting picked to go to this event called IMTA, International Modeling and Talent Association. And this place has hundreds and hundreds of agents and managers and hundreds of actors that go there for this event, for like this week-long event. And at the end of that week-long event, an agent, you'll get a paperback of agent and managers that want to potentially sign you, that thought you were good. And throughout that week, you're performing code read. Today's improv day, today's dancing day, today's modeling day. So like just showing all of your things. And at the end of the week, you get picked. And I did it. It was an amazing experience. I ended up getting an agent and manager from there. It was a great time. And I knew I loved it ever since. And then 2 years later, at the age of like 13, I ended up moving out to LA and been doing it ever since. And I love it. And I don't think I'm ever going to stop it because, um, you know, this is something I want to do for the rest of my life. And I'm glad that I found other people like my boy Alex over here that I can also do this sort of acting path with. So it's great. So I'm definitely glad I got into this acting career. If you guys want to get into it, I would highly recommend it because I love it. But I do want to warn you, it is very hard. I'm not going to beat around the bushes or whatever. If you want to get into the acting industry, you want to be serious, there's a lot of hard work behind the scenes. There's a lot of things you need to do to get better or whatever it is. But I would definitely highly recommend it because the reward for it is amazing. And the people you get to meet is amazing. That's what I have to say. Thank you guys so much for coming on today's episode of the Tyco Show with my very good friend Alex Bilbrey. Hopefully you guys learned something. Maybe you guys took some advice from anything that I said. Feel free to come back to this video, watch it over again, send it to all your people, comment down below anything you feel, any questions you have for later episodes. And yeah, I'll see you guys next weekend. Love you all so much. Let me know and comment down below. Peace.